There are moments in public life that stop you mid-scroll, that make you look up from your phone, lean slightly forward, and feel something you didn't expect. Catherine's arrival at the 2026 BAFTA Film Awards at London's Royal Festival Hall was one of those moments. Not because of the dress, though the dress was extraordinary. Not because of the jewels, though they carried centuries of history on them. It was the feeling behind all of it. The unmistakable sense that you were watching someone who had been through something real, something deeply private and painful, choosing to walk back into the light, choosing to show up. She wore a blush pink gown, soft and flowing, with a cinched waist and a delicate neckline that framed her with quiet confidence. The palette sat somewhere between mauve and rose, and under the cameras it gave her an almost luminous quality. What made it more meaningful was that she had worn this piece before. This was not a brand new commission. This was a deliberate choice to re-wear, to honour something she already loved. And in doing so, she said more about her values than any press statement ever could. Beside her, Prince William wore a deep burgundy velvet tuxedo jacket, and together the two of them looked like they had stepped out of a film themselves. Unhurried, warm, completely present. Prince Andrew's arrest earlier that week had cast a long shadow over the royal family. The headlines were heavy, the scrutiny was sharp, and the institution was once again navigating a storm it did not choose. Into that context walked William and Catherine, composed and united, their body language quietly communicating something the monarchy needed the public to see: steadiness, continuity, grace under pressure. Their appearance was diplomatic in the truest sense of the word, not a distraction from the news, but a gentle reassertion of what the family at its best can represent. Catherine's cancer diagnosis and the months of treatment that followed had kept her from many of the engagements that once defined her public rhythm. The 2025 BAFTAs came and went without her. So did several other major events. And while the palace was careful with information and protective of her privacy throughout that period, the absence itself spoke. People noticed. People wondered. And so, when she emerged from that car on Sunday evening, when the cameras captured her smile and the onlookers audibly reacted, it was not just a red carpet moment. It was the answer to a question many had been quietly carrying for a long time. The jewellery she wore elevated the evening into something almost historical. Her earrings were the Greville chandelier drops, originally given to the future Queen Elizabeth II upon her marriage to Prince Philip. Cascading diamonds, instantly recognisable to anyone who follows royal fashion closely, and perfectly suited to the delicate formality of the gown. But it was the Queen Mary choker bracelet that truly commanded attention, and rightly so, because this piece carries one of the most extraordinary stories in the entire royal collection. Commissioned in the 1920s for Mary of Teck, wife of King George V, the piece is a masterwork of Art Deco design. Geometric diamond bars arranged with mathematical precision, it somehow manages to feel both of its era and entirely timeless. What makes it genuinely fascinating is the ambiguity surrounding how it was meant to be worn. Portraits of Queen Mary show it at the neck, sitting high and regal as a choker. In more recent decades, it has appeared almost exclusively on the wrist. Whether it was always designed to function as both, or whether royal women adapted it over time to suit their own style, no one can say with complete certainty. That mystery is part of its magic. After Queen Mary died in 1953, the bracelet essentially disappeared from public view for over 20 years. It resurfaced in photographs of the Queen Mother, taken around her 75th birthday, worn on her wrist with that particular ease that comes from being completely comfortable with extraordinary things. When she passed in 2002, the piece moved into Queen Elizabeth II's collection, and it was Elizabeth who eventually passed it on. Over the last decade, it has been Catherine who has worn it most visibly, most memorably, and most meaningfully. She first brought it to global attention at a state banquet for China in 2015, and the image of her in that red gown with the Art Deco diamonds at her wrist travelled everywhere. Since then, she has worn it only on the most significant occasions: Paris, Buckingham Palace, the Royal Variety performance. Each appearance careful, each one considered. Wearing it to the BAFTAs was therefore not a casual decision. It was a statement of lineage, a thread connecting Queen Mary to the Queen Mother, to Elizabeth II, to Catherine herself. 4 women across 4 very different chapters of British history, each one carrying something of the others forward. When you understand that context, the bracelet stops being jewellery and becomes something closer to a living document. Her hair fell in glossy waves over one shoulder, slightly lighter than usual, her complexion warm and sun-kissed, in a way that suggested the family had recently taken some time away during the school holiday. Her makeup was minimal and radiant, the kind of look that requires enormous skill to achieve because it is designed to appear effortless. The overall impression was of someone who has come through something difficult and emerged not diminished, but clarified. More certain of herself, more settled in what she wants her presence to mean. William has served as BAFTA president since 2010 and has attended 8 ceremonies in that role. This was Catherine's first appearance since 2023, when she wore white Alexander McQueen with black opera gloves in a look that dominated conversations for days. The 2026 ceremony was full of extraordinary talent, global names, cinematic achievements worth celebrating on their own considerable merits. And yet, the story that cut through, the image that people kept returning to, was simpler than any of that. It was a woman who had been seriously ill, standing on a red carpet in the middle of London, smiling. That is what resilience looks like when it has nothing left to prove.